there, and welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for December 2nd, 2025. It's already December. And I did miss recording last week, but you know, it was a holiday week, and I feel okay about that. It was a busy week, and that being said, I did have Thursday and Friday off because the shop was closed, obviously, for the holiday, and then we were closed for Black Friday and did an online only sale. And so what I worked on was patching my jeans that had the big rip in the knee. And they're thrifted jeans, and they had a rip in the knee when I bought them, but progressively, I used to wear them. I stopped wearing them a little over a year ago. It was starting to get chilly, and the hole had gotten really big. And I was like, I'll just put them in the mending and I'll patch them. Yeah. So I finally got that done. And what I ended up using was one of my blocks from Scrappy Sewcial that I made at one of the very first ones that I hosted. And the way I did it was I fused, I just put fusible interfacing, one-sided fusible interfacing. It felt really soft, so I figured it'd be okay touching my skin. I fused that to the back of the block, and I cut away all of the frayed stuff on the jeans, and then I I marked the block as to how big I needed to see it, and you know how I was going to center it in it was a big square, and then I used my serger to serge it down to size, finish the edges, and trim it at the same time. And then I don't know if I mentioned that I did this or not, but I ended up opening the seam. So these are the jeans right here. And I ended up opening the side seam. Was it the side seam? Yeah. I opened the outside seam, outside of the leg, which was a flat fell seam. Basically from the base of the pocket seam to a few inches below where I wanted to patch. And I did a couple of, went around the patch, the edge of the patch, with just like a size 3 stitch on my machine. I actually ended up stitching it on the wrong side so that the bobbin thread showed on the top, showed on the outside of the jeans, just because I thought the stitches looked nicer that way. And then I came in about 1/4 inch or so and did another round of stitching. And then I decided to add some hand embroidery on the edges. And I'm probably going to do a little bit more stitching just because it is a pieced block. And even though the interfacing is on there, I feel like there needs to be a little bit of stitching. I don't know. We'll see. But I love how it turned out. I've already washed it, worn it a couple of times. And so after I got all that done, and I also did a hole that was just above that, I sewed the seam back together. All I had to do was follow the original. You could see the crease because these are really old jeans. You could see the crease where the original seam had been, and I just stitched right back up that. Can't even tell I ever opened it. This is the top of the jeans. I'll insert pictures too, but so the top one I ended up doing sort of like a little scalloped, like a picture frame almost, scalloped border going around, just using embroidery floss. And so that's that one, and that was another block. That was a smaller block that I had already cut up. And then this, I absolutely love the big one. It's right about on the knee. And I love how these turned out. The only other thing I did to them was I did put, they are men's jeans, and I need elastic in the waist so that in order to get them to fit the rest of me, I have to get them with a bigger waistline size. And so I needed to take the waist in so that when my phone is in my pocket, as it usually is, it wasn't pulling my pants down. So I don't need to be mooning people everywhere I go. So I basically just cut a slit on the inside of the waistband, only just the inside. Just in front of the side seams. And I did that on both sides, so you can see that right here. And then I ran some of this elastic through the waistband. This is elastic that you see a lot of times in kids' clothes. And so you can use buttons to make it adjustable. And it's a really soft elastic too. So I ran that through there. I actually serged each of the cut edges and then put it in there. Unfortunately, so you can see I sewed a button there, and it was great. I was able to size it exactly the way I needed it. Unfortunately, the button is killing me. I wore it twice, and I was like, yeah, no, the button's got to go. So what I'm going to end up doing now is just machine stitching at one end, get it sized exactly where I want it, machine stitch here on this side of the opening, pull the elastic and cut it so that it kind of retracts inside this, so that there's no there's nothing there, no raw edges there or anything to rub on my skin. I have sensitive skin. And then I can go ahead and, using the button on this side, I can get it adjusted to where it's exactly the size I want. And then I will just sew down here, and then I'll remove both buttons. I'll remove the end of the elastic, and you won't be able to see anything or feel anything right there. And it should be perfect. I am so excited about this, as I'm sure you can see. They're so comfortable, and they fit perfectly. And I love them, and they're unique. I'm the only one that has jeans exactly like this. I enjoyed this process so much that I have a whole queue now of denim over here that's waiting to be embellished or repaired or whatever. I'm very excited about that. So watch this space, because that's coming soon. Other than that, I did, so Scrappy Sewcial was actually this past Sunday. And it is the last one of 2025. So the next Scrappy Sewcial won't be until the end of January. And so I did wear these to Scrappy Sewcial yesterday, and everybody loved them. That's it for me, y'all. It was really nice to have Thursday and Friday off and to get some sewing done and to make something for me. I'm so excited. I can't wait to do more. I hope that y'all had a good holiday weekend. If you celebrate, if you just took the time to relax and get some rest, that's great too. I'm all for that. And I hope that you are finding time to be crafty. I look forward to watching your videos, and I'll see you next week. Bye!